Hey guys, hello YouTube. I'm coming at you today with the request for a stable longevity video on how I break down the 5 helper types. Now, if you guys listen to me on Instagram every morning at 7 a.m. on the Pacific Standard Time, I host a little half-an-hour show called the PTOD up in the live feed on my page under Tattoo Yogi Mama. It is a time that I speak with my IG fam bam about subjects that I feel are important, and they get to share their story with me. We do tips, tricks, and how we get through things. One of the subjects that we talked about this week was my construct that I made up about helpers. Now, what do I mean by helpers? I mean, these are the natural things that you do every day, whether it's at a job, in your home, out on the street, out in public, whatever. You're in your life, that you naturally possess, the natural helper tendencies that come out of you without even trying. So I'm gonna break down what the 5 type of helpers are that I have observed in my short term around the globe, in my short 32 years. Through the jobs I've worked, being a stay-at-home mom, being a caretaker, and yeah, just living life. So without further ado, we're gonna start out with the sharer. The sharer is me. I'm a sharer. I consider myself a sharer. The sharer is an individual that always feels like they have something to give to the conversation, and often they do. The sharer can be called a Renaissance woman or man. The sharer has lived a lot of life and always feels like they have something to share that will better someone's experience or objectively help them move through something in their life. Sharers are often outgoing, extroverts. They never really second guess themselves because they always feel sure-footed about this love, this good advice that they have to share. Sharers are often really great in HR positions, as I've seen when I worked as a dental assistant. Sharers are naturally drawn to be speakers in large public settings. They like to engage people in intellectual conversations, and from my experience, a sharer is an individual that is also a healer. They're one that is also a good listener and can give really deep emotional advice off the hook, randomly, whether it's in the grocery store or in a private setting with a best friend. So that's my view on number 1, the sharer. That leads me into my second helper, which I also claim is the emotional helper. Now, emotional helpers are those that know what you're gonna say before you say it. They can size up a situation through micro expressions and are really good at gauging people's emotions before the conversation even starts. Emotional helpers are those that you can lean on when you're having a really hard time in your life. They want to be there for you and they want you to cry on their shoulder. They want to be that safe space. Emotional helpers often make great doctors, nurses, and caretakers. They're the type of individuals that take what they do in life very personally, and everything they do moves with a sense of healing, I want to say. All the emotional helpers that I've ever met, often if they're not working in something business-like, like a doctor, a nurse, or a CNA, or any of that type of medical field, they're often yoga teachers or healers of some sort, whether it's through, like I said earlier, yoga classes, crystal healing, anything new age. Emotional helpers are those that are in touch with the free movement of their changing emotions 24/7. They can often come off a little eccentric. They definitely will cry when they want to. They will tell you to cry if you need to. They don't hold back. They have no filter when it comes to dealing with emotions attached to human situations. They are also one to call you out on an emotion if you're trying to hide it, because like I said, they're an expert of micro expressions and body language. They can sense if you're lying to them, and they'll always tell you, and they often want to hear what you have to say if you're feeling pepped up, having a hard day, the need to just emotionally vent. they're there. The emotional helper, in a lot of ways, helps whether they want to or not because they're excellent listeners. They oftentimes, a little bit of a con, don't like to talk about themselves. So if you're an emotional helper and you're out there, make sure you're making space for yourself at the end of the day after helping all of everybody in the human race with their emotions. My third helper, the constructive helper. Oh, the constructive helper. They are a doer. They are somebody that you only have to tell something once, and they are going to do it and do it the best they can and probably stay for overtime and do it even more without you asking. Constructive helpers are self-starters. They are the type of individuals where if you teach them a set of skills, they will, not maybe, but they will build off of them and become better at what they're doing, all because they enjoy that. They like constructing things. They like to be in charge. Constructive helpers make absolutely amazing bosses. They are good leaders, not only because they motivate others to do more in their workplace or in their home or wherever you are a constructive helper, but they light the fire of inspiration in others because they work so hard. They want you to tell them they're doing good. Constructive helpers oftentimes don't make enough space for themselves when it comes to work, and they'll pile it on too much. That's probably one of the biggest cons. But constructive helpers also fall into the category of being a little bit of a chameleon. They're able to put on the hat of any of the 5 helpers and get things done. The constructive helper is someone who is not afraid to fail and often feels like failure is just a lesson and an opportunity to succeed. Constructive helpers are often very optimistic and are open to any ideas, love brainstorming, and love being in charge of projects. My 4th helper, the deconstructive helper. Oh, the deconstructive helper. We all have these. They're that person that calls you on your stuff. They're that person, whether you like it or not, when you're in a situation, can tell you what might go wrong. Now, they can be viewed as pessimistic, right? Why is my friend Sally always pointing out the negatives of what I'm trying to do? Well, Sally's not negative. Sally has your back. Sally is a deconstructive helper. She's also super motivated to get things done the right way the first time. She doesn't like to fail. So she takes her time and plans things out little bit by little bit so she gets it right the first time. The deconstructive helper is a great person when you're creating a project to help you find where your holes are. And they're not afraid to tell you because the deconstructive helper will only speak up when they know they're right. They are often very confident and come off, as I said earlier, a little brash. But if you can get past that hard exterior, the deconstructive helper can be your best friend. The deconstructive helper can help you be more productive with what you're doing in your day, and is often the one to point out the little loopholes and the spaces in your projects that aren't going to go right, or help you get rid of things off of your to-do list that you don't really need. Or if you are putting together a PowerPoint presentation, the deconstructive helper will tell you, you know, that doesn't make sense. That's going to confuse people. That slide doesn't belong there. I don't like it. It doesn't look right. This doesn't flow right. That's the deconstructive helper. The deconstructive helper helps the constructive helper be realistic. Is sort of an earthy individual who brings everybody back down to earth and shows the reality of everything. If you can get past their rough exterior and the fact that they come off a little full of themselves, the deconstructive helper can be your best friend. Now, my last helper is someone that was sort of a hard helper to pin down, but they do exist. They're called the Quiet Contemplator. Now, who is the Quiet Contemplator? The Quiet Contemplator is a shy person. They often, in my experience in my life, suffer from anxiety. They don't like to speak up. They're not very sure of the things that they have to say, but they're always watching. They're that friend that you have that is always kind of hanging around, smiles, goes with the flow of things, but when crap hits the fan, they are there like that with a solution. The Quiet Contemplator saves all of their juju, their good helpness to, helpness, is that a word? I just made it up. Okay, we're gonna use it. They got all their help-worthy vibes. They save it for the real bad situations in life. They're there. They are the ones when there is divorces, or you lose your job, or someone dies. The Quiet Contemplator is there to comfort you. The Quiet Contemplator is there with ideas, but they will only speak up when they are absolutely 100% needed. The Quiet Contemplator isn't bad. It's not that they don't want to give you their time, or they don't think that, you know, helping you through your day-to-day things is a burden to them. They just view their place as damage control. They are the wide net. They're not the little nets that catch you on the way down. They are the wide net. Quiet Contemplators are not good self-starters, in my experience. They are best to be put in positions where they have strict lists. They know exactly what is expected out of them, and they stick to that. And they won't go outside that list of what are my to-dos. If you have a Quiet Contemplator in your workplace and you're often frustrated, why isn't Sally doing more with this? Why isn't she creating? Why isn't she advancing her skills? It's because you haven't let her know exactly what you want from her. Quiet Contemplators will only do exactly what they're asked and play exactly by the rules. That doesn't mean they're broken. That means they need to be in positions where I need Sally to do A, B, and C, and that's it, and that's perfect for me, and it works. I hope that these helper lists help you guys in your workplace and in your home. I know I have some companies watching today who were looking forward to the helper list. I hope I have gone over what you need to know. If not, you can hit me in the email. We, as humans, all wear these hats, and I would be lying to say that I haven't worn the sharer, the deconstructor, the constructor, the emotional, and the Quiet Contemplator at some time in my life. Having a little bit of everything is important, and well-rounding yourself so that you get through the human race, and with it, kindness and love is important. The best of us become chameleons, and we learn to take on and off the hats when we need to, but there's nothing wrong with owning who you are. And saying, I'm a constructor, I'm deconstructive, I'm emotional, I like to share, I'm the quiet one. Those are all important roles in our society, and choosing to love your natural helping skills is only going to further you through your life and serve your higher purpose. So thanks for listening, guys. Again, if you need me, you can hit me in the DM on Insta, or on my email, or through my blog at tattooedyogimama.us. I will chat at y'all later. Peace.